Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It is 9/11/2020. It is a Friday in remembrance of everybody from September 11th. I don't want to get into it too much, but let's get started. Today, if you are thoroughly confused by what's going on in the stock market right now, you are not alone. Everybody right now is trying to figure out, did the bulls blink? Did the bears blink? Are we going to head back up? Is this the start of a new move in the other direction? And yesterday when the market closed weak, there was a lot of heavy selling. We kept seeing lower lows, lower highs, and we just kept pushing down. At the end of the day, we said I'd be very surprised if the market opens higher today. And right on cue, the market's opening higher. So the point I'm bringing out, the futures are up around 30 points right now as I'm filming this in the morning. If you don't understand what's going on in the market right now, if the market is not matching whatever your strategic way of looking at the market is, whether it's order flow, moving averages, candlesticks, it doesn't matter what it is. If the market's not clear to you, if the market is not making sense to you, cash is a position. And I say that as your friend because you don't need to trade. The volatility is increasing, which is awesome, as long as your ideas are obvious. Now, what we're ending up doing right now is we're dropping down to a little bit shorter window for profit taking because we're going buying one day, selling the next day, gapping one day, trading down the next day. The picture is not like it was in July and August. And that's what it takes to separate yourself from chart reader to somebody who understands how to do tape reading to somebody who gets paid. If you want to get paid, sometimes you have to scale back, sometimes you have to be in cash, and sometimes you have to book quicker profits if that's all that's on the table right now. We actually did have a nice trade yesterday afternoon in VLO as a short sale, actually. We're looking for a lower opening to cover that short sale this morning. If we do, we're going to, as it pushes down on the open, we're going to get out of the trade, not looking to squeeze anymore. It's reached what we call a saturation point. There are some opportunities today, but they're a little bit more setting them up for a little bit longer term trades. I think the one that we're going to take a look at today, which seems to have been the easiest trade for me over the last 30, 60, 90 days, which has been earnings follow through. I've been very clear that I haven't been holding earnings overnight. I've been waiting for the number to come out. It's been all over the place. And then looking to trade the earnings after it happens and looking to trade in that direction. Most of the stocks that have had poor guidance have traded lower and continued. Most of the stocks that had good guidance traded higher and continued. Peloton is the stock of the day where it's now up 11%, I think, at the last time I looked. Or we'll take a look at the exact percentage. And I'm looking for follow through today in sync with the market being strong as of right now. So yesterday's big deal was we had a higher opening, and right from the beginning of the day, we said we need to see this higher opening stay there in order for us to feel aggressive on the long side. It didn't. So we didn't lose money because we stayed away from the ideas that weren't following through. There were definitely some ideas that did follow through, PENN being one of them, but that was really kind of like a rocket right out of the gate. So what do we have going on today? The game has not changed. The idea, the concept has not changed. We're getting a higher opening today. We have to have a Mendoza line. We have to have a line in the sand, which for us, it's the opening price. The opening price is going to tell you if today's order flow is in sync with the higher opening in the longer term order flow. If it is, let's get in there and finish with a really good, solid, bullish end to the week. And we're going to talk about some ideas right now. If we open up higher, which it looks like we're going to, and we start trading down, it's going to be very tough to have conviction. So you're barely stock specific at that point. And maybe work the orders a little bit, maybe be a little quicker to take profits as it moves in your favor. And then if and when the market finally catches a bid, we can squeeze that a little more. But you need to know what you want to do now before the market opens so it's not an emotional decision later. So let's head on over to the charts and we'll take a look at some of the ideas that we have today. I'm starting out with Las Vegas Sands, actually. We're gonna actually head over to Peloton right after this. But this is starting to be something that's interesting to me where Las Vegas Sands and Wynn are kind of hovering at levels that they've had a hard time staying above. And you can see it's not a perfect breakout here. You got this little price action here, but you can make an argument that this really is the level, right? This is where it keeps getting up to and failing. This is kind of more like an aberration. And now we're kind of just hovering there and actually stayed positive on a day that the market got beat up. So we're starting to see a lot of these get out of the house stocks, the world getting back to normal stocks, showing some signs of bids under the market. When the market's coming down, the stock is not, and you can actually see how well it held up when the market got spanked over those 3 days, and yesterday included. It did not sell off hard the way the market did. So what are we talking about? We're talking about relative strength. We're talking about looking under the hood. We're talking about actually being a profit potential. This is the last place in February where the stock was prior to the pandemic. This is pretty interesting. There's room to go here, right? PENN is another one that just reached all-time highs yesterday and just continues to have good news, and it's opening higher again today. We've been talking about this as a swing trade, so we're getting rewarded on that on today's higher opening as well. But Peloton is the one that is on our lips right now. 11.65% earnings were good. As a matter of fact, they were blowout earnings if you really get into the numbers. So really 100 is going to be our first target today. So we're looking for the higher opening, probably going to be somewhere around 96 to 98, depending on where it all settles by the time the market opens. 100 will be the first target. But again, very similar to some of the other stocks that have gapped. You want to force it to have price action. You're going to use your stock watch, use your watch list to say, these are the stocks I'm focusing on right now with the bullish market. Make those stocks the one that you're giving your attention. So 100 will be our first target. Again, it's going to be a big percentage move. If you watch the video we did this morning on profit taking, you need to know what your average true range of this stock is. So 100 will be the first target. And then from the low, you're going to project out to be where your other target will be. Along those similar lines is DraftKings. And we'll pull this out to a little bit longer term chart. You can see DraftKings is now finally got through this 38.50 level, finally has some good news, and a higher opening could take it into that all-time high level. So it's going to open up somewhere around 44, which would be $2 off the all-time high. And if the market shows strength, look, this thing could breach the all-time highs and we could get a nice little follow through. Now, here's the thing. This inside candlestick breakout was the start of a new swing trade to the upside. Heading into big resistance that it hasn't been able to get through, we might see a little bit of sell the news type of price action here. It remains to be seen. We'll let the price action tell us what to do. But if we get up to that $46 level after the stock has now basically rallied $12, that's a big move for the stock. We might see a little profit taking come into that area. So it really happens. What happens when it gets up there, you have your line in the sand, you have the level that you're going to read the tape on, and you want to see how it reacts around that level. If we push up to 46 and pause for a couple of days, gosh, that would be a great, great new swing trade idea. W was the idea of the day for the community yesterday. This is just one that we were all over in a big way. And let me actually show you the 5-minute chart. We had two separate entries here that we use proprietary entry signals. And again, if you go to this profit-taking strategies that we talked about in the video this morning, we implemented that yesterday. The stock gave us two entries, exploded. Once it hit the targets we were looking for, we moved up our trailing stops. We were very, very clear about moving up the trailing stops, and we did not get caught in the selling in the afternoon. And just that one trade before 11 o'clock, well, there are two entries, but the one stock before 11 o'clock pretty much paid for the month, actually. BYND is setting up is interesting. They had news yesterday about selling a sausage-less patty or something like that in China. China or Hong Kong, one of them. I forgot exactly where it was. Maybe we could pull it up. Hong Kong. Okay, in Hong Kong. Here's the deal with BYND. And I'm going to go a little contra here, which is not something I normally do in these videos, but this stock really only trades for a few days when news comes out, and then it kind of goes into the phantom zone and you don't hear from it again. If the stock opens higher, which it looks like it's going to do, it looks like it's going to open up around 145. If the stock opens higher, pushes higher, and barely takes out yesterday's high, somewhere around this 150 level, I think the stock is going to reverse and could end up being a really good aggressive short sale today. The only thing that would stop that from happening is if the market is just on this amazing bullish tear. But this is the difference between reading charts and trading. Like, oh, it's up 3 days in a row. I can't wait to buy it. I'm telling you, the price action we're looking for is a higher opening, a push higher, barely take out yesterday's highs, and then we're looking for selling to come into the stock because the 3-day story has worn itself out. So let's keep an eye on that one. VSLR and Run, both showing relative strength compared to the market. I like these two long. Again, I'm not looking to initiate a new swing trade long, but I'll definitely be looking to day trade them today. VLO was our swing trade on the short side yesterday. It looks like it's going to open up close to flat, but you can see this big red candle. We had a nice opportunity there. So what we're looking for here is a push lower off the open and then booking profits on this multi-day run to the downside. And we're not going to give up on the ones that we've been actively trading. SHLL, Workhorse. Still like all of these. That doesn't change. Zoom, Surge was all over Zoom the last few days, and CRM. I like all of them. Honestly, I like all of them, but I think the trade of the day for me today, if I had to give like 2 trades, active day trading type stuff, swing trading is not as super clear as it was in July and August. I do like the LVS, the WIN, to see if they're kind of hanging around. WIN is that $88 level. But again, keep an eye on those 2 advanced trades that I called out today. BYND, that news story is out already. It had a 3-day run. It's a really obvious level if it punches through and comes back. And then the other side is PENN and Peloton. Both of those will be aggressive trades today too, provided the tape tells us it's still okay to get in there and trade them aggressively. Hopefully you're having an awesome weekend. Volatility is certainly amazing in the market right now. The VIX spiked. We've seen a lot bigger swings. You just need to make sure you're on top of easier trades, and easier trades happen when you identify the order flow. If you want to learn how to do that, click down and join me in the bootcamp. Have a great day and have a great weekend.